Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video where we will be walking through how to create these strawberries in colored pencil. It's a fun and relaxing drawing, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so to start this video, I'm starting out with a sketch that I drew from a reference photo, which I will link down below. And I'm just starting with a red colored pencil and blocking in all of my colors. And I'm just doing this as a light layer, which I will use to build on top of. And then I go back in with my green and start shading in those leaves lightly. And then I go back in with red. I have a few different reds here, but it really doesn't matter if you only have one or two reds, then you can still achieve a similar look. But if you have multiple reds and you want to alternate just to create a more dynamic color, that's cool too. So now I'm just going in with the red and creating some like seed shapes, and then I go and fill that in with another layer. And then now I'm going to do the details on the inside of the strawberry, which are just going to be blank spaces. That is going to be like a really light pink, like almost white. And then I just fill all those spaces in. So I'm just kind of creating like some negative space. So it looks like the white from the inside is feeding into the outside of the strawberries. And then I draw the details of the very center. And then I just lightly shade that in using the side of the pencil. And then go back in and build up another layer to make those reds a little more deep. And now I'm going in with some green and defining the leaves a little bit more. And I alternate greens here too, just to create a little bit of, I don't know, just make them more different and interesting looking, but you can use whatever green you have, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just building up with my green colored pencil and adding some more layers and alternating colors, which you don't have to do, but you can if you want. And now on my middle strawberry, I'm doing basically the same thing that I did on the one to the left, and I'm just drawing my seeds with red that I'm going to add more detail to in a minute. So now that all the seeds are in, I go in and I start shading and filling in where some shadows are with my red. So at the bottom, where the light is being blocked from the strawberry in front of it, and then right under where the leaves are, there were a little bit of a shadow. And then I go back in and I add some depth to my seeds, so I'm just adding a little bit more darkness because there are also shadows surrounding where the seeds are because they're slightly pressed into the strawberry. And so I just go through one by one and add a little bit of shadow to those. And then for this middle section, I'm adding little shadows for each of the seeds. So the light is coming from the top, so it reflects off of the bottom portion of the seed. So the tops are darker and then the bottoms are lighter, which will all come together at the end. You'll see how it all works out, but this is just going through and adding those details to every single seed. And once that's done, I go back and deepen up some areas with my red, and then I blend it a little bit with my white, and so you have a nice highlighted section at the top, and then it gets darker towards the bottom. And then also the left and the right sides were highlighted a bit, so I go in with my white and I just blend everything together and make those highlights nice and smooth. And now I'm going into my strawberry on the left and intensifying it and adding in some deeper tones. And then just adding in more details where I see fit. And now I'm going in with my brown colored pencil and alternating brown and yellow to create the seed color on the inside of those circles. And then I go in with my green and add some more depth to those leaves on top of the strawberries. I'm just adding in some more layering, some more detail. I tend to jump around a lot because I like to work on different areas in the piece as a whole instead of individual sections. So you'll see that I jump around quite a bit, but you can do it however you want. And now, I was just erasing some of my pencil marks from before. And just layering and alternating my greens. Again, if you don't have multiple greens, you can always mix some yellow into your green to make it a little more of like a bright lime green, and a little more blue to make it a deeper green. Or even if you wanted to get a dark green, you could add in some red to really get some shadows, but I'm just using different color greens. And so I go through and I did all of the stems and leaves, and now I'm going into my third and final strawberry, which is in the front, and basically just going and through that same process that I just did with the strawberry in the back, but doing it all over again, shading it in, and then I will draw the seeds. And then once I am done with that, I go back to my leaves and fill those in, shade them in a bit more. And then I just went in and filled in the rest of the strawberry with a red to make it a nice deep dark color like the other two. And now I'm just filling in shadows beneath the strawberries, and I'm using a black colored pencil, and then I also add some of the darkest red that I have very lightly, just to kind of create a little bit of a reflection with the red, but mostly just the black. So I go back in, and then I'm also taking my dark red and adding some detail and adding some depth to the seeds as well. But I don't put any black in my strawberries, and I just go alternate back and forth between the black and the red just to mix them together. And that is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was a short one, but it was really fun, and I really liked how it turned out. I'll link my reference photo below if you want to recreate this, and I hope you guys have a lovely evening, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!